Before I begin this video, I just want to give a shout out to my friend the MachoDude. He had me as a guest star on his channel recently, and I'm doing the voice of Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. He's got a bunch of awesome videos, so I definitely recommend checking him out. There will be a link to his channel in the description below.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, my net soldiers? I'm Net Alliance, and today we have the final part of what if the Jedi Council survived Order 66. To better understand what is going on in this theory, I suggest you check out the previous parts. Make sure to click the card at the top of the screen. It will take you to the beginning of this series. Also, I'm on Patreon now, so if you like what you see, I would extremely appreciate it if you could donate to my channel. Even if it's just $1, which is less than a cup of coffee. I will love you forever. But without further ado, let's begin. Mace Windu and Captain Rex stand on the bridge of the Savior.
Time's up,
the Jedi says to the captain. Rex peered out the massive space-sealed window. The Savior had entered hyperspace and was nearing Coruscant quickly. He looked back at Mace. General Kenobi, Nortano has responded back yet, sir. Are you sure you want to begin with the invasion?
They had time.
Windu said, folding his arms.
And now, time's up.
Mace went on his comlink and announced to the Jedi and clones aboard the Savior that the invasion of Coruscant was about to commence. He told them that they know their orders and to stick to the plan. After a brief speech of how the galaxy is relying on them, he finished with the final statement,
and may the Force be with you.
The clones readied their weapons and prepped the dropships. The Jedi gathered their strength and meditated with the Force. In just a few minutes, they would all attempt the impossible. Windu made his way to the hangar of the ship to meet with his fellow council members. However, he ran into Master Yoda on the way. They talked about how Yoda must flee if the council fails, saying that the council voted Yoda to stay behind, just in case. So even if the rest of the Jedi Council were to perish on this mission, the Jedi could still thrive on Tython. Although Yoda believed he should take place in the battle, he respected the council's vote. The two Jedi Masters said their goodbyes and went their separate ways. It was a bright and busy morning in the Senator sector of Coruscant. The many speeders and transports crowded the sky. Hundreds of thousands of civilians walked on the streets below, making their way to their next destination. Suddenly, a gargantuan shadow covered the sector. The entirety of the populace looked up in awe as a massive Republic battlecruiser slowly entered the atmosphere. Chancellor Palpatine watched from his office as Commander Bacara and Commander Cody entered the room behind him. The Chancellor told Cody to destroy the traitors, including the betrayer Captain Rex. Although Cody didn't want to bring harm to his old friend, he bowed to his Chancellor in obedience. Bacara looked at Palpatine. What are my orders, sir? Palpatine turned towards the clones.
You shall serve as an example for all who dare to disobey their orders.
The two clones were shocked with confusion. What do you mean, sir? Master Mundi fled before we could kill him.
Then you failed, Commander. And failure to me is to disobey an order,
Palpatine said with a smile.
And to disobey an order, well, it's treason then.
He then looked square at Commander Cody.
Kill him.
Without hesitation, Commander Cody pulled out his blaster pistol and shot Bacara dead. Cody took control of his body once more, not believing what he had just done. It was like Cody had lost control of himself, like now, he was just a puppet to the Chancellor. He looked to Palpatine. But sir, why? Palpatine smirked with delight.
You killed Kenobi, so for that, you live. I now declare you Supreme Commander of the Republic. You now only answer to me.
Supreme Commander Cody was humbled by the title he had been given, but he couldn't help to wonder, was this title a gift or was it a curse? Thank you, sir. I'm honored.
The honor is mine, Supreme Commander,
Palpatine said, walking to his computer.
Now go. Stop those rebels and put an end to that clone captain.
The cruiser released its dropships, housing the many Jedi and Rebel clones. However, the transports were met with enemy artillery. It appeared as though Palpatine had anticipated this assault, but luck was on the Savior's side, for only one regiment of the Republic's troops guarded the Chancellor's building. We will have to make this quick, Ki-Adi-Mundi commanded, before more clones can assist the Chancellor. The dozens of ships landed and released their troops, while the Jedi jumped into action. The Republic clones outnumbered the Rebels 3-1, and although the Rebels had the Jedi, this would be no easy victory. A firefight began in the streets, just outside the Chancellor's building. The Rebel clones, dressed in pure white armor, went against their mind-controlled brothers. Rex led his troops against the might of Palpatine's clones, cutting a hole through the blockade of enemy troops. After a few minutes, they reached the main entrance.
You all know the plan. Stick to it.
Mace Windu commanded. Kit Fisto, Shak Ti, and Saisi Tin, along with the remaining Jedi, mounted inside the door, while Mace Windu, Coyote-Mundi, Plo Koon, Coleman Kaj, and Stas Ali made their way to the Chancellor's office. Rex and his troops barricaded the door and readied their new strategy to defend the entrance. One clone said, "That seemed too easy, sir." Rex cringed at the fact. "That's because their commander hasn't arrived yet." Windu and his fellow council members made their way through the many hallways and stairwells. His plan was orchestrated on purpose to not include Fisto and Tin in the fight. Not just because they were still injured from their last encounter, but he didn't want them facing the man who nearly killed them before. Emotional baggage can be quite heavy, especially in a fight. A fight Windu and his accompanying Jedi have prepped for. Rex peered over the barricade to see a massive army coming their way. He had only 100 troops left, but the battalion marching upon him was at least 500 soldiers. And to make things worse, they were led by one of the best commanders the Republic had, Commander Cody. Cody sent a holocall to Rex. He urged the captain to surrender, and if he did, he would help him out the best he could. Rex felt that the offer was tempting, but he had to decline. He warned Cody on the dangers of the inhibitor chip, that the Chancellor can use it to control them just like droids. Now, Cody knew that Rex was telling the truth, but what could he do? He was the new Supreme Commander of the Republic Army. He had his orders. "Then I'm sorry, my old friend. You must die," Cody claimed. Supreme Commander Cody and Captain Rex's troops ran at each other, as Rex commanded his troops to not let a single enemy clone pass. Cody commanded his main cannon to fire upon the captain, saying that once Rex falls, the other clones will follow suit. Rex knew that he was outnumbered. He knew that if he were to kill Cody, he would still die anyways. The only way to save his clones and himself would be to change Cody's mind. So the captain made a beeline for Cody, dodging the cannon blast and taking down any clone that got in his way. He came within a few yards of Cody, who was too distracted with the rest of his troops to notice Rex. He turned just in time to see Rex only a few feet away. But even worse, the cannon was still following Rex, and now it was aiming at both the clone leaders. The giant barrel launched a blast a few feet away from both of them. The resulting shockwaves sent both clones flying into the air, crashing into a nearby building's window. After a second or two, Rex stood to his feet, realizing his helmet had been blown off his head. He looked to the other side of the room, where he saw Cody standing to his feet. Cody's visor had been cracked from the explosion, obscuring his vision. He took his helmet off and locked eyes with Rex. "Cody," Rex said, "the Chancellor's a Sith Lord. He's going to betray the Republic." Cody looked upon his former friend. "No, you betrayed the Republic, Rex. Now I am the Supreme Commander of the Clone Army, and you will face justice." It was then Rex realized that he wasn't going to be able to talk to Cody with that inhibitor chip in his head. And if he couldn't talk to him, he'd have to beat him into submission. "Supreme Commander, huh? That's quite the promotion. Let me give you a little congratulatory gift," Rex said, punching Cody in the face. The clone leaders began to fight, each incredibly strong and trained in the way of hand-to-hand combat, each fighting for not only their lives, but for the galaxy. Mace Windu and his Jedi entered the Chancellor's chambers. Palpatine stood in front of his desk as if he was expecting them.
"Ah, Master Windu. Did you come to arrest me again?"
All 5 Jedi wielded their lightsabers and entered into their combat stances.
Not this time, Sith. This time, you die.
"Then I must thank you, Master Windu,"
Palpatine said as he wielded his own crimson lightsaber.
"for you've brought me more Jedi to slaughter."
Palpatine and the Jedi clashed. Although Sidious was powerful, he couldn't help but feel somewhat overwhelmed. If he were to survive, he would need to start picking off the Jedi one by one. Plo Koon swung at Palpatine's head, but the Sith Lord ducked the strike, bringing his blade up onto Koon's arm, severing it from above the elbow. He then force-pushed Koon down the hallway, turning his attention to the other Jedi. Sidious blocked a few more hits and fired force lightning at Windu and Coleman, keeping them at bay as he kicked Mundu in the face, knocking him back. Ali used the distraction to lunge at him, but the Sith Lord saw it coming from a mile away. He brought his blade over, quickly penetrating Ali's chest. Her lifeless body fell to the ground as the fight moved closer to the next room. Windu stood firm along with Coyote-Mundi and Coleman Kaj. It appeared that no amount of training could prepare them for the Dark Lord of the Sith. The Jedi surrounded Palpatine, making a triangle around him. For a moment, all the fighters held their position, each Jedi waiting for Sidious to pull his next trick, and Sidious waiting for one of the 3 Jedi to strike. Mere seconds felt like hours, as Coleman was the closest to Palpatine's flank. He went to stab the Sith Lord in the back, but once again, Palpatine saw this coming and hopped over Coleman's head, slashing his own blade at the Jedi's neck. Sidious landed in the other room, as Coleman's decapitated head smacked the floor, his body following shortly after. Windu and Mundi were so shocked that Sidious used the distraction to electrocute Mundi with his force lightning. Mace jumped at Sidious and kicked him in the chest. However, before he could, Palpatine Palpatine managed to throw Mooney against the far wall in the other room, knocking him out. Mace Windu and Darth Sidious came face to face, in the same room they were before. Of course, this time it's under different circumstances.
You're all alone now, Master Jedi. Prepare yourself for death.
Down at the Chancellor's building's entrance, Kit Fisto, Saesee, Shaak Ti, and the remaining Jedi were holding off the Republic clones. Cody's forces managed to puncture through Rex's, and now, only the surviving Jedi stood in their way. The Jedi were skilled, and they gave it all they had, but there were simply just too many clones. One by one, the Jedi began to fall. Fisto blocked a shot that was aiming for Shaak Ti, and after slashing down a few clones, he was finally struck in the leg. He limped for a bit as Saesee ran to his side. Kit managed to cut down 6 more clones before being shot in the chest and the arm. Saesee grabbed him and pulled him back behind the barricade. In Kit Fisto's mind, he seemed to enter another dimension. It was bright and sunny and happy. Then he heard a familiar voice as a shadow came closer to him. The figure began to take shape as he realized it was Aayla Secura. She held out her hand and told him to take it. He did as commanded, and together they flew off into the bright void. Saesee held Fisto as he took his last breath. He closed the Nautolan's eyes and stood beside Shaak Ti once more. Rex and Cody were both badly beaten up. They had been fighting for a while, but eventually Rex got the upper hand. He put Cody in a headlock and used his taser to short-circuit the inhibitor chip in his head. Cody fell to the ground as Rex helped him up. Rex told the Supreme Commander that the chip was destroyed now. Quickly, call off your troops before it's too late. Cody, realizing his mind control had been broken, did as Rex said. He contacted all his troops and told them to stand down. Suddenly, the clones stopped attacking the Jedi. Some even removed their helmets and began assisting all the wounded Jedi and clones. Mace and Palpatine continued to fight in the Chancellor's quarters. Sidious used his Force Lightning again, only this time he aimed for Windu's cybernetic limb. The lightning managed to short-circuit his hand, throwing Mace's fighting style off balance. Sidious used this misstep to his advantage and knocked Windu's blade from his hand, then stabbed the Master Jedi through the abdomen. Windu fell to his knees, holding his chest as Sidious lifted his lightsaber.
Last time, Vader took your hand. This time, I'll take your head.
Sidious brought his sword down, but before his crimson red blade could meet Windu's neck, it was stopped by a blue lightsaber. Both Mace Windu and Darth Sidious looked to see who wielded this blade. They couldn't believe their eyes. The one who saved Windu and the one who stopped Palpatine, it was Anakin Skywalker.
Vader,
Palpatine said, confused.
what are you doing?
Anakin smiled as Ahsoka and Obi-Wan entered the room behind him. Finishing you, Skywalker declared, force-pushing Palpatine away as Kenobi came to help him. Ahsoka assisted Mace away from the combat.
You have betrayed me, Vader.
Vader's gone, and now only one Sith remains.
Then you will die.
Sidious said, hurling Skywalker back with a massive force push. He then turned quickly, locking blades with Kenobi.
Your arrogance blinds you, Kenobi.
Sidious used the Force to push hard onto Kenobi's blade, causing the glaring heat to flash Obi-Wan's eyes, blinding the Jedi Master. Obi-Wan, no! Anakin called as he leaped back into action, destroying Sidious's lightsaber and stabbing the Sith Lord through the chest. Palpatine fell to the floor, gasping at his pain. It was then Rex, Cody, and the other Jedi came into the room to help. They found Anakin Skywalker standing triumphantly over the Dark Lord. Skywalker helped Kenobi to a nearby seat as Sidious sat himself up.
No,
He muttered to himself.
I will not die. You will die!
Sidious claimed as he sent a massive surge of electric energy at the group of Jedi and clones. The power was so strong it would kill them all in seconds, but just before it could reach them, it was blocked. Then a voice was heard.
Not if anything to say about it. I have.
It was Master Yoda. He came just in the nick of time. Master Yoda absorbed the lightning, then threw it back at the wounded Sith Lord. The blast slammed into Sidious, sending him crashing out the window and falling to the Coruscant streets below, once and for all killing Darth Sidious and putting an end to the Sith. A clone medic helped Kenobi to a stretcher as Anakin approached the Jedi Council.
Skywalker.
Windu said faintly, signifying to Anakin to come over to him. Master Windu, I'm sorry. This is all my fault,
No.
Windu said.
Because of you, the Jedi will live on. You've earned my trust.
Anakin didn't know if Mace really meant what he said, or if it was just a hallucination brought upon by the pain. Nonetheless, he was grateful to have redeemed himself. Windu took one more deep breath, then looked at all of his companions.
Thank you, all of you. May the Force be with you, always.
Jedi Master Mace Windu died that day, but with his death came hope for the galaxy. The Jedi rebuilt their temple on Coruscant. The council was reformed, and Ahsoka joined their ranks. Master Kenobi, though blinded, managed to use the Force to see again, and is now third in command behind Ki-Adi Mundi and Yoda. Master Plo Koon had received a cybernetic limb, and Master Saesi-Tin recovered from his injuries. Rex and Cody made sure every single clone had their inhibitor chip removed, so that no one could ever play their puppet master again. Bail Organa was voted in as Supreme Chancellor of the Republic, and worked hard to undo the evil done by Palpatine. And finally, Anakin Skywalker left Coruscant behind, taking Padme and their twins, Luke and Leia, with them to Naboo. And upon that planet, he and his family could live in peace and happiness for the rest of their days. A figure dressed in black robes stood on the deck of a separatist cruiser, looking out the massive window. In the distance, he saw what appeared to be the construction of something big, something that could even be the size of a small moon.
What is that?
The figure questioned.
Count Dooku called it the Death Star.
A battle droid responded. The figure stepped into the light, revealing his glowing yellow eyes.
It's perfect.
So this was the end of my What If the Jedi Council Survived Order 66, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed the massive saga. Thank you all for watching every single part. You guys rock. Please remember to like and subscribe for more videos, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.